Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tat Sat. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Shuddho Buddho Vimuktaha Shruti Shikara Giram Mukhyatat Parya Bhumi Yasmat Jahatam Samastam Jagadidam Amrtadvyapya Sarvam Stito Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavatarai Suranaravanajairekshitam Sarvametad Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guruhu Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhakaha Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tat Sat. Jaya Guru. We shall have 3 times in chorus recitation, 3 times the auspicious monosyllable Omkara, which, as you already know, will activate and energize the entire body, especially enhance the longevity of the heart and the health and well-being of the brain and other organs. Interlock your fingers, put them on your lap, sit comfortably erect, close your eyes, open the mouth and heart. Let this chorus recitation think in your mind, spread throughout the globe, showering its benedictions on all the beings and creatures upon the earth. Let your mind expand. Let your heart feel more and more for the others. Hari, Hari. We shall chant the shloka from Bhagavad Gita where Arjuna confesses before Krishna the trouble and delusion he is suffering from, seeking to get it redressed. Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhavaha.
Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhavaha.
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta.
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta.
Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam
Namrata Swarupa has already told you about our Malaysia visits, where we had all the three of us, together with Bhoomananda Swami and Ma Gurupriya. I am sorry. Together with Swami Nirvisheshananda Tirtha and Ma Gurupriya, I had to go. We don't generally like to leave the ashram, all of us together. But this was a special occasion where they were wanting all the three of us to go. In spite of other difficulties, we consented and we were there for something like 15 to 20 days. They have acquired a place, a land and a building, and major renovations also were done. It looks to be a very good place. Everywhere, everything is well done. About 150 people can be accommodated for a special occasion. All the arrangements are there. Now this makes the devotees and seekers in Malaysia more responsible, and they will have a focus now. They can assemble there very freely, have their deliberations, think about a plan of action, and then proceed to execute it. I have told them that within the next 1 year, you must have a national program where people from all sections of Malaysia, all states, will have an occasion to assemble. Why they should assemble and what is the plan of action following it, all these I told them you should decide. In Malaysia, more than 2 million from India, particularly from the Hindu society, are there. Culturally, I believe they have starved to a very great extent. It is the duty of everyone, particularly in Malaysia, to think of the matter and see what best can be done to culturally elevate them, strengthen them, inspire them, and make them harness their own inner resources. What is meant by inner resources? The empowerment that the mind and the intelligence have with themselves. Normally we function and operate with a conventional mind. We don't think more about it. M-I-N-D, mind, that's all. So you generally have desire, love, hatred, fear, jealousy, intolerance. Some people have kindness, some have affection, some have a spirit of sacrifice. But most of the people do not think about the mind and what we can do with the mind. But this is a very, very important thought. I always emphasize the point that our body continues to grow only for 21 years. Then the growth is a self-arresting condition which nature has instituted and is preserving. Then the growth stops, and from the next moment onwards, so far as the body is concerned, it is declining. But that is the time all of us become adults, and we have the motivation as well as occasion to think deliberately ourselves, make our choices and selections, and pursue them in the manner we want. By the time you become an adult, if the body stops its growth, then I ask every one of you, yourselves as well as others around you, which part of our personality is supposed to grow? Every one of you thinks that body is everything. So the body has started declining after completing its growth. Then which part of your personality will grow, if at all? The answer is the inner personality. What is this inner personality? It is a composite of 3 factors, constituents. One is the emotional mind, another is the rational intelligence, and the third is the assertional and coordinating ego. Don't think that these are three separate entities. They are only functional names. The substance involved in all these is the pure consciousness that animates, activates the body and the senses. So the entire growth is in the functional mind and intelligence. I told you that people only have a conventional mind with them. But you should know that mind has got enormous resources, dimensions, potentials and possibilities. Normally nobody knows about them, thinks about them. But our Shastras repeatedly emphasize that, my dear man, you are what your mind is, your intelligence is. Probe into the mind, probe into the intelligence. Let the inner domain be the sole point of research for you. It is the mind that reflects the world and makes you experience it. It is the intelligence that sorts out, discriminates the data collected by the mind and advises the mind, this is that is this is the discrimination that you should adopt. If you analyze human life and understand it properly, in the humans, it is all a display of mind and intelligence alone. Nothing else. If we did not have the mind, if we did not have the intelligence, we would have been just like animals. There would be no civilization for us, no reformation for us, no advancement for us, no values and no goals. Are you aware of this? Have you made any effort to make your children know that? My dear child, your body will stop its growth when you become an adult. And the rest of the personality to grow is the mind, intelligence and ego. And they continue to grow till the last breath of our life. Sky is the limit so far as mind is concerned. Greater sky is the limit for our intelligence. What do you think of them? Is there any occasion for grieving for a human life? No. Why should we grieve? There is nothing going to take place in the world for the first time. The world has existed for countless millennia. And whatever event, episode or circumstances or environments are there, similar ones were there. The whole thing is moving in a cycle, in a cycle, in a cycle. So recurrence is inevitable. History always has a complaint that people refuse to honor and learn from history because history repeats itself. This repetition is necessary because of the cyclic character of the world. Are you following me? In Delhi we have a CARD, Center for Inner Resources Development. In Jamshedpur we have it. We also have in California as well as Virginia 2 centers, CARD-NA. What is the purpose of this center? To make people understand that they have got inner resources, enormous resources, held by the mind and the intelligence. All the qualities that you are speaking about generally, what? Commitment, dedication, integrity, perseverance, accountability, magnificence, zeal, enthusiasm, fervor, exclusiveness. All these are qualities, and these qualities are the resources the mind is capable of developing and bestowing to you. In the same manner, the intelligence has got its own qualities, particularly the sharpness and perceptiveness. Unless you exercise your intelligence, exercise also your mind, how can they grow? What is the time you spend in order to tend, nurse and look after the body? I feel we are spending about 2.5 to 3 hours a day. Correspondingly and parallelly, do you spend any time to nourish the mind and nourish the intelligence? I am sure you will not be able to say yes. None will be able to say. Mind can be nourished only inwardly. Intelligence also can be nourished only inwardly. No material item will ever enter the mind. They only enter the body. Breath enters, water enters, food enters. It's all handled by the alimentary canal. What are you saying? Unless you are able to nourish your mind and nourish your intelligence, whereby both of them will start registering consistent growth, enrichment, empowerment, elevation, expansion and enlightenment. Do you think the human life will have any meaning, purpose or goal? So there is a lot of meaning in our naming Center for Inner Resources Development. You should teach your children from very young age to sit in a place without doing any work whatsoever, closing the eyes for at least 20 to 25 minutes. If this 25 minutes of silent sitting, absorptional sitting is practiced, I think there is nothing more than that when they grow old. How to reach the mind and nourish it? How to reach the intelligence and nourish it? In Bhagavad Gita, what is the setting? Arjuna came to the battlefield with 13 years of preparation. He did a lot of austerity, foregoing even sleep, to win Pashupatastra. With Gandiva and Pashupatastra, he came to the battlefield expecting to display his excellence. That is the purpose and resolve with which he came to the battlefield. After the war cries were raised, it occurred to Arjuna that he should examine both the armies before deciding upon his own strategy. Lifting his Gandiva up with as much of pride as possible, he ordered Krishna, his charioteer, drive the chariot, station it in a point whereby I can examine both the armies. Krishna was cleverer. He was also waiting for an opportunity when he could make Arjuna aware of his own hidden inner resources. So he whipped the horses, stopped them right in front of Bhishma, the grandfather, and Drona, the teacher, and told in a profound note, suggestive note, my dear Arjuna, Uvacha partha pasyayitan samavetan kuruniti. The Kuru army is arrayed here. See to your own heart's content, who all are here. Look, here is the grandfather. I don't have to tell you what this grandfather was and is to you and what you are to him. And there stands Drona, the teacher, from whom alone you have learned all the archery and skill. Now you have to use it against these two. They are the commanders. They will not move an inch. They will battle with you. You have to battle them. Tell me whether you are ready. You have 13 years of preparation, you think. But I believe there is some hollowness in you. In any way, you examine the army and decide upon your strategy. You know all that happened. Arjuna crumbled, started crying. Gandiva is slipping from my hand. My body is trembling. Mouth is drying. Mind is whirling like a whirlwind. I am unable to stand. The intelligence says this is a sinful war. Do not fight. Escape as soon as possible. Tell me what was there left in Arjuna to sustain him or give him sukhur. The material acquisition represented by Gandiva, he was unable to hold. Body, mind and intelligence, all of them were in shambles. This is the lesson Krishna wanted him to absorb. My dear Arjuna, with all that you have now, you are not full. You are incomplete. You only have this objective excellences, so to say. But the inner resources are still unknown to you. The real treasure is the mind of man, the intelligence of the human, also the ego. Nobody probes into them, tries to understand them and harness the invaluable resources they have. My dear souls, the entire epic literature, our Vedic Upanishads, and all the ancillary granthas written in our land, all of them are only unearthing and displaying the inner resources of the human. I think it is high time for all of you to think about. External resources are what the science and technology deal with. The inner resources are never dealt with anywhere. First of all, the children should be told about what is mind, where is it, how precious it is, what is the treasure held by the mind. There are a number of historic accounts for us which we can narrate to the children and from which they can draw endless inspiration. I always say personal stories are the prevailing influence in humanity. Unless we know that somebody in the past has done something great, I belong to that lineage, automatically the inspiration, confidence, assurance, strength and promise start welling forth within us. When Hanuman was told that he was the son of wind or air, suddenly his mind started swelling. I am the son of wind, so I can go anywhere where wind is. It is just like climbing into the lap of my father. Don't you understand all this? How to harness your mind? It is not a material object or a material entity. About material entities we know, science and technology are there. But in order to harness, touch, improve the supra-material resources within the body, only supra-material ways will be of use. See how Sri Krishna talks to Arjuna, and every time he is exposing him to his own inner dimensions and resources. Krishna uses the tool of intelligence. He activated the intelligence in Arjuna. Arjuna instantly became an inquirer, and the tearful eyes stopped tears. We have completed all that. We are now with verse number 20 of the 3rd chapter. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astida janakadaya lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumargasi. I would like you to recite it. Along with this series, every one of you must be learning Bhagavad Gita verses. I am told that very recently in America, 1,300 people came and recited the whole of the Bhagavad Gita by heart. The director of Guinness Book, he had come to give it due publicity and recognition in their publication. 1,300 people for the first time. One girl who had participated in that performance happened to be from Malaysia, and she had come to our center and she recited the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita extremely well. My dear souls, all of you will have children, or you are yourselves children. Why don't you open the book of Bhagavad Gita and make a commitment that I will learn it, learn it, learn it. How much of brain benefit you will have if you are able to commit to memory the verses of Bhagavad Gita. It is after all living words. Every word represents an idea. These ideas are connected together to form propositions, statements, exhortations and the like. If you are able to register in your brain the Bhagavad Gita verses, and simply by an action of your will you are able to recite it through your vocal system, can you imagine the mastery you will have attained? It is in your brain, by your vocal system. How much of enrichment the brain must have had by the time you recite anything whatsoever. I would like you to understand it as a scientific process. Vishnu Sahasranama, 1,000 names are there. All these names are coined by human beings alone. When we are using our alphabet and we formulate words, every word has got a meaning and a purpose. So the Sahasranamas also, evolved by us, are aimed at, targeting the inner resources. Every time you chant, you are impregnating your mind and intelligence with the ideas and propositions contained in the names. Can you imagine what a great treasure your mind and memory will be if you are able to chant Vishnu Sahasranama by heart and you do it every day? Much greater will be the situation when you learn Bhagavad Gita and are able to chant. In Vishnu Sahasranama there is no verb at all. So there is nothing like a proposition, a will, a resolve, a goal or a value. It is all beautiful and profound descriptions of Lord Mahavishnu. But in all those descriptions, what I find you should find is the display of the human mind and intelligence. Nothing else. Mahavishnu has not uttered these. The humans alone have. They will coin words for their own purposes. The Vishnu Sahasranama words were coined in order to imbue the mind and the intelligence with a number of qualities, a number of inspirations, a number of imaginations, a number of will and wish. That is the idea. Just by uttering 64 letters, Krishna took away the tears of Arjuna. And Arjuna posed himself as a deep and a sustained inquirer, raising relevant points before Krishna which he is answering. Krishna's explanation continues. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthida janakadayaha loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Recite. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim Asthita janakadayaha Loka sangrahamevapi
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि.
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि.
This time, for the first time, I should say, in Malaysia, I started taking up altogether 15 or 17 verses for them. I wanted all of them to learn. So we were projecting it on a screen, the Sanskrit verses, transliteration, and also the meaning. I said, I will teach you some important verses in Bhagavad Gita. I started. You know, they are not like our Indians. They are far away from Sanskrit. But to my surprise, I found all of them were reciting. Aravindan was there to follow my recitation along with the others. Sometimes Sanjay also did it. I was so happy and fulfilled. All the people were born in their respective families. Their parents would not have been happy, so happy, looking at them as this Swamiji was. When I saw them recite so beautifully, I was bombarding their brain by my voice. I will recite the verse first. Then I will recite phrase by phrase, line by line. They will repeat. Like that 2 or 3 times. Then I will ask them, I will recite a line, you repeat it 4 times. They will do it. This is how our teaching was going on. The teacher will recite, the students will repeat it 4 times, and altogether you will find the whole subject is recited 10 times or 12 times. In my class, we were reciting it about 10, 12, 13, 15. Wherever complex words are there, I will ask them to look at my tongue and lips. I will emphasize it properly. And I think I taught them 15 or 17 verses. It has gone into their hearts and minds. The entire Malaysian team is now confident they can recite Sanskrit slokas. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthida janakadayaha lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Sri Krishna cites Janaka. Who is this Janaka? Sri Rama's father-in-law. When Sri Rama lived in Treta Yuga, and when was Krishna speaking in Dwapara Yuga, the end of it. How our country has been able to connect up such remote instances. Have you thought about it? It is the same culture and civilization that passed through right from the Krita Yuga up to now. The same thread you will find. Janaka lived in Treta Yuga. And that Janaka is quoted by Krishna. Who was Janaka? A famous king. His fame was that he was ruling his Mithila kingdom very efficiently. At the same time, he was a spiritual luminary. He coupled the spiritual wisdom with the administrative task of ruling the people and the kingdom. He did not renounce the throne, renounce the kingly duties. Remaining on the throne, at every point of time, his activity was impregnated with spiritual wisdom and objectives. That is why he says, Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astidaha. In and through the activity itself, activities themselves, they attained what they wanted. Our activities themselves can be the medium. How do you learn swimming? Can you learn it in the air and on the land? No. You will have to enter the water, drowning water, and then learn swimming. After you learn, you are floating in the water. Here too, think that activities are the water in which you have to learn swimming, and after learning, you can remain afloat comfortably and well. The best exercise you can think of. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astida janakadeha. It is in this context that I told you about Suraghu and Parigha, two kings who were extremely close to each other, friends. Suraghu is inquiring and speaking to Parigha, who visited him. Yatha prabrti bodhena yuktam atyandigam manaha tadarabhya samadhanam avyuchinnam mahatmanaha. Parigha was inquiring about how your spiritual wisdom and state are. Are you able to get samadhi and be seated in samadhi? Then Suraghu is answering, what do you mean by absorptional sitting? Is it a time-bound program? Or absorption is a quality, is an enrichment. The mind and the intelligence gain by pursuing spiritual wisdom. The wisdom is pursued by the intelligence. That intelligence is already there in everybody. You have to employ the intelligence and pursue the wisdom. When we learn addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, etc., which part of our personality is employed? Hands or feet? Or intelligence? Once the intelligence has learned it, when I ask you, 5,000 multiplied by 10, how much? You have only heard the proposition, and here comes the answer, 50,000. Tell me how you produce this answer. Ear was employed only to hear what I said. The whole process took place within the brain, and your tongue comes out with the answer 50,000. Exactly in the same manner. When I tell you, my dear man, you are the I. All the rest is mine. The mine is different from the I. Mine refers to an object, and I refers to the subject. The subject can never become the object, nor the object can become the subject. My dear seeker, your body is my body. It is not I saying, you saying. My mind, my intelligence, my ego, my world, everything is mine. Things which you possess or own. But there is a possessor, the owner, the I. The I is only one, but the minds can be plural, multiple. Can you not understand it with your intelligence when I say this? What difficulty is there? I and mine are different. This is mine. My I, where? Is it the body? Is it the mind? Is it the intelligence? Is it the I? No, 1,000 times. Such an I, is it there or not? Yes. As what? As myself. Myself. It is my identity. The subject, the witness of all other propositions. That I. My talking and your hearing, it is taking place in the intelligence level. That hearing part alone is the ears. And the talking part belongs to the sound system, vocal system, tongue, lips, tongue, etc. Otherwise the whole process is internal. in the level of the mind, in the level of the intelligence. Don't you have these two? Then why don't you do it? What is the wrong? What deficiency do you have? And what excuse can you put up? Keeping the intelligence the highest faculty, nature and God have been able to produce and preserve. What kind of a nonsense are you uttering? 5,000 multiplied by 10 is 50,000. How do you say that? Did you bring 5,000 10 times? Visually see, add to say 10,000? The answer given by intelligence is not accepted by people? Are we not calculating all the mathematics thus with the intelligence? The interest that the bank is paying is always through intelligence. Computers also have started doing, every chip is intelligent now. Yatah prabhati bodhena yuktam atyantikam manaha tadarabhya samadhanam avyuchinnam mahatmanaha. If the I continues in you unbrokenly, if the I continues in you unbrokenly, the awareness of it also will be unbroken. The I is unbroken. And the I itself reveals I am, I am, I am. So that I am awareness, that amness is unbroken. Yatah prabhati bodhena yuktamatyantikam manaha. The mind should be coupled with the wisdom the intelligence gains. The mind should be coupled. The wisdom should be instilled and infused and imbued into the mind. And the mind should start reflecting it. Once this association, this coupling has taken place, tadarabhya samadhanam avyuchinnam mahatmanaha. For the high souls, from that moment onwards, the samadhana, what you call samadhi, what you get in samadhi, that composure, that placidity, that beatitude remains constant, endless, unbroken. It arises from knowledge. It arises from comprehension, cognition, recognition. Is there any doubt whether you are the I? Are you not the I when you slept or sleep? Are you not the I when dream takes place? Are you not the I when wakefulness is on? Without the I, can there be wakefulness? Can there be dream? And can there be sleep? You only have these three states. Out of these three, the world is present. The world is revealed only in wakefulness. It is not there in dream and sleep. And that world you are not able to understand and deal with. Give it the importance that is just due to the world. Give sufficient importance to you, the witness of the world. The world doesn't witness you. You alone witness. The witness cannot be the witnessed, nor can the witnessed be the witness. The I remains as the I. When you are suffering, the I witnesses the suffering. When you are happy and jovial, the I only witnesses it. It transits from happiness to unhappiness, just like it transits from sleep to wakefulness, sleep to dream, then wakefulness, again to sleep. What are you saying? Your whole life is moving in a cycle. Sleep, wakefulness, sleep, dream, wakefulness, sleep, wakefulness, sleep, wakefulness. What else do? You only sleep or you are wakeful. Not because of your merits, striving or struggling, but because of the fact that you are a human being. Who shaped you as a human? Not your mother, not your father. the hands, if at all, of nature, God. Understand it with humility, employing your intelligence. It is not enough if you are intelligent in a secular and a worldly manner. You have to be intelligent to understand your own personality, your own mind, your own intelligence, your own wakefulness, your own sleep, and your own dream. Tell me, whether your wakefulness comes first or the world comes first. Tell me, in your experience and life, which is the first factor? From sleep, you wake up. And as you wake up, the senses bring the objects of the world. At the end of the day, the same mind wipes off the entire impressions of the world and puts you to sleep again. Where is this wakefulness? Between two sleeps. Between two sleeps. It is born from sleep. It gets dissolved into sleep. The entire world, of what consequence is it then now? Answer me. So far as we are concerned, our whole life is an expression of these three states. Sleep, wakefulness, dream. In sleep, the I alone is. Everybody will say, I slept. Sleep is an intransitive verb. No object is implied there. I slept comfortably. I slept comfortably. The sleeping man never needs anything. He has no hunger and thirst. He has no desire. He is not conscious of the body, of the mind, of the intelligence, of the ego, of the world. And what does he get? He gets cheerfulness, blissfulness. He wakes up and then says, I slept comfortably and cheerfully. So tell me, is not the sleep experience the nature of the I? The nature of the I? Thinking in this manner, the whole rational conclusion should be associated and coupled with the mind. Bodhena yuktaha. Bodhena yuktam manaha. The mind should be coupled and imbued with this understanding. It's not enough if your intelligence knows. Let the knowledge be imbued, infused into the mind, and the mind should constantly feel it. In that case, his composure, his spiritual beatitude will remain unbroken. Nahi prabuddha manaso bhutva vichhidyate punaha samadhir duramagrishto visatanduhu shishoriva. My dear souls, you should have appreciation for what our ancient people thought and wrote. Nahi prabuddha manasaha. Nahi prabuddha manasaha. Would you like to recite? Nahi.
Nahi.
Prabuddha manasaha.
Prabuddha manasaha.
Nahi prabuddha manasaha.
Nahi prabuddha manasaha.
Nahi prabuddha manaso.
Nahi prabuddha manaso.
Bhutva.
Bhutva.
Vichhidyate.
Vichhidyate.
Punaha.
Punaha.
Bhutva vichhidyate punaha.
Bhutva vichhidyate punaha.
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
Duramakrishto.
Duramakrishto.
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
Duramakrishto.
Duramakrishto.
Samadhir duramakrishto.
Samadhir duramakrishto.
Visatantuhu.
Vishantuhu.
Shishoriva.
Shishoriva.
Visatantuhu.
Visadantuhu.
Shishoriva.
Shishoriva.
I will recite and you hear. Nahi prabuddha manaso bhutva vichhidyate punah samadhir duramakrishto visatantuhu shishoriva. Suppose there is a lotus leaf as well as the stem in the hand of a child. The child will break it and pull it. So a thread will be formed. If he pulls it more, it gets broken. Our samadhi is not something material like this to get broken. Nahi prabuddha manasaha. When the mind becomes enlightened spiritually, what I spoke to you, you are the I. Every time, cry, weep, laugh, smile, jump, run, sleep, dream, be wakeful. In all these, the I remains the I. You don't have to tie it anywhere. It remains by itself. When you understand this truth, that the I remains itself, changelessly, its presence cannot be vacated by anybody, shadowed by anything, overpowered by anything. When you understand this, do you have to become the I? You are already the I. When this knowledge is properly grasped, when you become enlightened, bhutva vichidyate punaha, that knowledge can never be broken by anything. 5,000 when multiplied by 10 is 50,000. Even when you cry, will you not remember this, my dear souls? If one hand is amputated, will you not still say 5,000 multiplied by 10 is 50,000? If you can say that, can you not say the spiritual wisdom also? Nahi prabuddha manaso bhutva vichidyate punaha samadhir durama krishto visatantuhu shishoriva. If one is properly enlightened, his knowledge will never be broken. There will be no discontinuity in the knowledge at all. Either you are the I, no, there is no question of either. You are the I. Do you have to make you the I? Can you substitute the I? Can you multiply it? Can you add anything to it? Can you deduct anything from it? The I will remain the same. Try to add to it something from anywhere. That is why I tell the world, my dear world, put me anywhere you want. You cannot give me a plus, nor can you inflict a minus. My body is full with substances, and the inner presence is full with its own radiance, splendor. What is there to be additionally received? The world is full of Panchabhutas. Our body is also full of Panchabhutas. The inner presence, different from the body, is already the self. What is there to be changed, to be added to, deducted from? Why don't you jump and dance saying, I remain the I. I remain the I. Nothing can be added to it. Nothing can be taken away from it. It is full, it is abundant. It is full, it is abundant. Never will it be broken. Never will it be vacated. When you understand this truth, Samadhi becomes pooh, pooh. This itself is Samadhi. Tasmat kadachidapi me na samadhimayam manaha nava samahitam nityam atma tattvaiga sambhavad. Suraghu continues to say, Tasmad, therefore, kadachidapi me, never at any time, na samadhimayam manaha. The mind is without samadhi. The mind is always engulfed by or submerged in samadhi. Nava samahidam nityam. Did I say mistake? Tasmat kadachitapi me na samadhimayam manaha. My mind never is in asamadhi. It is always in samadhi, steeped in. No asamadhi for it. Nava samahidam nityam. And to this samadhi condition, there is no further addition and embellishment. Atma tattvaika sambhavad. What is this samadhi experience? It is the experience of the Atma, the soul that you are. The self alone remains, whether you realize it or do not realize it, whether you suffer or whether you enjoy. All these are only for the body, senses, mind and intelligence. Nothing happens to the self. It remains the same ever. So there is no flickering there. There is no undulation there. There is no alternation there. Nothing happens. Sarvagam sarvadaivatma sarvameva cha sarvatha asamadhirhi kosau syat samadhirapi kastvataha. See, my dear souls, you should come with me when I say this. Maybe nobody else will speak. You should come with me. All are notions in your mind, concepts the mind makes. Even you say, I have a body. Who reveals that you have a body? Body doesn't reveal itself. It is the mind that gives you the notion that you have a body. Your body is a notional existence. Sarvagas sarvadaivatma sarvameva cha sarvatha. Sarvaga, everywhere. Sarvada, always. Atma, the self alone. Sarvameva is the all. Sarvatha, by all means. Everywhere, any time, the self alone is in display. Asamadhirhi kosau syat. Then what are you speaking about? Asamadhi. The opposite of samadhi. About what? You mean to say the self needs samadhi and sometimes the samadhi is lost? What about the I? The I is the witness of samadhi and also non-samadhi. Samadhirapi kasprataha. The moment you are exposed to the I, exposed to the self, then there is no question of samadhi and asamadhi. Bundle them up. Outlive them totally. Try to catch hold of the witness, the witness, the witness, the witness. Nityam samahitadiyassu samamahantaha tishtanti karya parinama vibhaga muktaha tena samahita samahita bheda bhangya nityodida kvanusa uttamavak prapanchaha. Nityam samahita dhiyaha susamamahantaha. See, you should learn it in this poetic style. That vibration, it will sublimate, spiritualize, divinize, consecrate your very mind. Nityam samahita dhiyaha. The great souls, wise people, are always self-abiding. Consistently. Susama, their mind is given to evenness, harmony. Evenness to what? Only two things, sukha and dukkha. Our five senses interact with the world, producing five sensations. Sight, sound, smell, taste and touch. There is no sixth sensation. These sensations, when they touch and trickle to the mind, they become happiness and unhappiness, sukha and dukkha alternately. These sukha dukkhas are not one opposed to the other. Both are mutual. So one is a complement to the other. Without dukkha, sukha cannot be. Without sukha, dukkha cannot be. Either they coexist or they exist not. Once you understand this, automatically you develop an even sense of acceptance towards both. Mahantaha, that makes you a great soul. Tishtandi karya parinama vibhaga mukta. They stop applying the cause-effect sequence to anything in this world. We are always hunting for the cause, looking into the effect. When a man slept, he left everything, and suddenly he dreams. Can you relate this dream to anything? Because the dream itself is illusory. When you wake up, everything vanishes. And why are you trying to attribute it to something? So the right attitude towards dream is keep quiet. Let anything happen. It is an illusory, a pratibhasika development. So karya parinama vibhaga muktaha. We try to attribute reason, cause, effect, etc., saying the effect is no other than the cause in a modified form. To begin with, was there any cause or effect? So the beginning of cause and effect, the source of it is uncaused, it is not an effect. So if everything has proceeded from zero, can the cause and effect sequence be true then? So they are free from it. Nityo didhakvanu sa uttama vak prapanchaha. Every time, awareness is arising in you. Arising in you. When a thought arises, what arises? It is the consciousness that seems to arise. When a thought subsides, again that. What is sleep? I am sleepy. What is wakefulness? I am wakeful. What is dream? I am dreaming. All the three are expressions, displays and revelations of the I. Similarly, you look into the mind. The mind produces thoughts, feelings, emotions, memory, reason, knowledge, inquiry. All these are what? The mind, the consciousness itself. So in everything that is produced, felt within the body, it is the consciousness that constantly reveals itself. All the rest are what? All the rest are mere verbiage, verbosity. Stop all that. Be focused on yourself. The self is not subject to samadhi or asamadhi. Suraghu Parighashchaiva vicharyedi jagat brahmam vidaha prapujitau tushtau swavyapara paraugatau Suraghu Parighashchaiva. By this kind of a conversation, the king Suraghu and Parigha both vicharyedi jagat brahmam. This kingdom, this world, this huge display called creation is no other than a product of our own illusion, delusion. What shall I say? क्या बोलेंगे हम? थोड़ा हमारे साथ आ जाइए ना. जागृत नामक हमारी स्थिति जो है वो सुषुप्ति की अभिव्यक्ति है. सुषुप्ति में कुछ था. सुषुप्ति का अर्थ क्या है? कुछ न होना, कहाँ भी न होना, कुछ नहीं होना. The sleep is nothing and nowhere. It is from that sleep wakefulness is born. So can the wakefulness have any meaning or relevance? Tell me. Don't leave the question to scientists. Become the scientist yourself. Vicharyeti jagat brahmam mithah prapujidau tushtau. Each of them esteemed and worshipped the other. Tushtau. They both became equally contented. Swavyapahara parau gadau. And both of them returned to their own respective activities and callings. By virtue of what? By virtue of a superbly enlightening dialogue. This world, the sight of the world, makes you think, wow. But you think a little further. Before you wake up, did you not sleep? Is there anybody who is awake without having slept? And when you slept, you are nothing and nowhere. It is the same sleeping eye that now becomes wakeful. It is the display of the sleeping eye. So what can it be? You tell me. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadaya lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarghasi. Janaka was not a sannyasin. He was a king. I cannot discuss the whole of Janaka today, but I will at least give you an inkling of it. This is what Janaka was saying. Susukham bata jivami yasya mena asti kinchana mithilayam pradiptayam name dehyadi kinchana. Oh, what a great statement. And every Indian is reminded of this. How is Rama alive? The Tretayuga Rama has forced or led the Supreme Court and the Prime Minister and his cabinet to build a temple for Sri Rama in Ayodhya. Can you imagine? Susukham bata jivami. I am comfortably living, Janaka says. Yasya mena asti kinchana. I am living comfortably because I have nothing and I own nothing. Mithilayam pradiptayam. If the entire Mithila is burnt, name dehyadi kinchana. Nothing will be lost for me. This is what Janaka was, is. Just imagine the impersonality, the impartiality, the nothingness that shone constantly in Janaka. Nothingness. What is this fire and what is this burning? What? In dream also, a palace can be burnt. You get up and look for the debris, will you find? Sometimes people get married in dream. When they get up, can they find their husband or wife there? What is it that you are saying? The whole thing is an emergence from sleep. And sleep is a nothing and a nowhere. So from nothing and nowhere, this grand display has come. What is its worth, you tell me? The weight of any article, it does not belong to it. The weight belongs to the force of gravity of the earth. Take it to the moon, it becomes 1/6. Take it to the empty space, the weight becomes 0. What more do you want to falsify everything? I am not asking you to hate the world, but live in this world with light-heartedness. Live in this world sportfully, meaningfully. When it comes to a question of giving something to another, don't be stingy, give liberally. Have tears for the others. And in such tears, you start smiling. Don't be like a crab. There was a crack sound. Huh? It is not functioning. No. There is no sound. You are able to hear. Huh? Okay. They say you are able to hear. What did I say?
Live in this world with light-heartedness.
Sportfully. Live in this world sportfully.
Sportfully, light-heartedly.
Light-heartedness and sportfully.
Live in the world sportfully and light-heartedly. Live in the world light-heartedly.
Yes. You should. Live in this world light-heartedly, cheerfully, feeling for the others. Learn to give, not always to take. An individual is a member of the family. The family is a unit in the social segment. Social segments together make a nation. Nations together make a globe. The whole thing starts from the individual mind. The globe also contains many nations and many individuals. Heart and mind are available only in individuals through individuality. But mind you, don't become just a family man or a social segment man or merely a national. Try to extend your vision beyond. It is for this purpose that we discuss this great knowledge. Expansion will not come to you from the Panchabhutas. Certainly not. Mind is given to thinking, feeling, ideating. Intelligence is given to knowing, probing, understanding. And you have to improve the two through their own food and nourishment. So this knowledge is to make you live in this world light-heartedly, successfully, gloriously, greatly. When you become great, you have no poverty at all in your mind. When you have no flickering, there is no fear at all. Body is a product of time. It is time that brought it forth. The same time will take it away. You have nothing to do there. Feel no burden. Feel comfortable, light-hearted, joyous, cheerful. This is how this knowledge works. That is why Janaka says, I live comfortably. I have nothing. If Mithila is burnt, I am not burnt. See. The rest of it we shall see next Saturday. Samvedya varjitamanuttamamekamadyam samvidpadam vikalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri. We shall have the conclusional Omkara as usual. Take your pose for it. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tassat. Jai Guru.